Hey guys, REKLEZ back here again. I'm here with another video, and as you can tell by the title, this will be another one of those ranking every whatever from worst to best. Now, this video actually did get requested, so I'm here with it now. Alright, so as you can see, I will be ranking every single Resident Evil entry from worst to best. Now, keep in mind, I'm just going to go with the games that are canon to the story, so you will not be seeing the likes of Operation Raccoon City, Survivor, etc. Alright, so now I am aware of the games that are actually canon to the story. However, there is actually only one that still illuminates me, and that is Code Veronica X. Yeah, believe it or not, I have played every single main entry, but that is the only one to this day that I have not gotten my hands on. So maybe in the future, if I ever play it, maybe I'll talk about it. But for this list, it'll be only 12 entries. All right. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right. So here we go. Number 12, Resident Evil 6. I mean, do I have to explain this one? And like the fun little fact about this one is like when I first played this game, it was actually back in 2012. And I was only like 14 years old, and obviously I didn't even think about how it branched off of horror in favor of more action. Like I didn't really think about that, obviously, being that young. But believe it or not, I actually did pick this up for PS4 just recently, and I played it just to see if the hatred was justifiable, and it was. The hatred for this game is definitely justifiable. Now, do I think it's bad to where it's literally unplayable? Not necessarily. I still think it has its fair share of good moments. For example, I did like Leon's campaign, how it's like a little throwback to the classic survival horror. But of course, Chris's campaign really took over. And what I mean by that is it was mostly taken over by action, which, yeah, it did not go well with fans. And yeah, I mean, to this day it remains the worst in the franchise. And like I said, you know, it's like I don't get it either. It's like the best way to sum up this game is it just feels like, you know, a collaboration between Michael Bay and Activision. Like that's like literally the best way to describe this. But I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go on about this game forever, but everybody who's a diehard fan should know why this game is low on the list. Number 11, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Now, this is slightly better than the last entry, but compared to its predecessor, it doesn't really hold up as much. And like someone summed it up best when they said that it just feels like Capcom had watched Saw for the first time and were like, yeah, you know what, just do that. Now if they took inspiration, then I guess that's fine, but I don't know. I mean, it is cool that we got the likes of Claire and Barry, and it's like you could kind of understand what the story was about. But yeah, like when you compare it to its predecessor, like I said, it doesn't hold up as much as that one. It has its good moments, like it has its fair share of good boss fights. It did well with some good creativity, like with the BOWs or whatever, or these random killers. I don't know. But I mean, I would say it was decent. You know, maybe a decent entry into the franchise. But like I said, compared to others in this franchise, yeah. I mean, would I recommend it? Absolutely. I mean, again, it is one of the, you know, the slightly better entries. So I definitely would recommend it if you are a diehard fan who hasn't, like, you know, touched this game at all. But it's not a game that I would recommend over and over again. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I was happy with like the somewhat slight differences with the gameplay and everything. But yeah, again, at best it was at best average. Number 10, Resident Evil 0. I know this game has been a mixed bag, kind of. Not really, but kind of. Um, I don't necessarily hate this game, but compared to other games, it doesn't really feel like it has like the same type of feeling, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong. It has its good moments. Like some of the boss fights I thought were pretty good. Um, you had like the leech zombies and the huge frogs or whatever. So I mean, again, it maintained some really good creativity. Um, but again, compared to some of the other entries, it like I said, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with this one. Like, it's kind of hard to rank this one because I mean, I've seen many reviews for this one. People saying it was horrible. People saying it wasn't that great. So, but you had some people defending it. But so that it was kind of hard to rank this one, to be honest. But I mean, I thought in terms of the characters, Rebecca, I thought she was good. The convict, I forgot his name, but the convict I thought was all right. Um, I mean, possibly the only reason why people maybe you should play this because this is of course the prequel to the first ever Resident Evil, so I guess that helps. But yeah, I mean, again, it's all right, okay at best, I would say. But I mean, it is one of the more challenging entries, though. Like I will say that it's definitely one of the more challenging entries in the franchise. Number 9, Resident Evil. Well, here it is. Here is the game that started it all. Um, I mean, if you grew up in '96, I don't think I have to explain myself as to why this game, became a mega hit with fans. I mean, aside from all the horror aspects, in terms of like, aside from the horror aspects and like the somewhat decent gameplay, this game is notorious for one reason and one reason only. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's, I mean, yeah, the voice acting. Um, Again, I played this many years ago, and obviously I didn't pay attention to the voice acting. Um, but I mean, if you've seen it or heard of it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like I don't know. I mean, it makes you question like, did they do this on purpose or what? I have no idea. You had like the freaking you know, like the whole oh yeah, like the whole Master of Unlocking and the whole Jill sandwich. It's like Jesus Christ. Um, but I mean, aside from that though, the game still holds up. I mean, it hasn't really aged that well. I mean, there are some things that does hold it back, unfortunately. But if you want to try out a Resident Evil for the first time, you could go with this one, or you could go with another one down on this list, which I will get to later. Um, but I mean, overall, it does hold up though, and it definitely it does have its and it has its scary ass moments like the zombie and the Cerberuses and shit like that. So I mean, it does have its good moments and shit. But again, compared to others, yeah, it hasn't aged that well. So, but yeah, but that's why it's at this point of the list. So yeah, so there's there's that one. Number 8, Resident Evil Revelations. This game is good. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I thought this was a very much enjoyable entry. Again, way better than the one that came after it. I liked how it like flip flops it from the past into the present. I thought that was a really cool idea. Jill is the main character, and you had the likes of Chris in there, and they had their partners, but I forgot what their names were. Overall, yeah, it was a really good game. You had like the comms officer. You had like those fucking big ass fish, whatever the hell they are. I mean, those just look scary as fuck. Um, you had a lot of good shit in here. It was a really good game. A really good solid entry. I mean, it's not a game that I would play over and over again like I had with some of the other ones, but it is a game that I would recommend. Again, it has its good moments and shit. Like it has a lot of good things in there. Like again, the boss fights, the gameplay, the story, and everything. I thought it was handled with perfection. I mean, it was a really good experience. Um, so yeah, it was very good game here. I don't really have much else to say. Um, you had like those weird, I don't even know what they are, like the frogs or the toads or whatever. You had like the BOWs, um, and you might have had some other shit in there. But overall, though, yeah, I think this was a really good entry, and I enjoyed it. I hella enjoyed it. So yeah, so really fun game here. Number 7, Resident Evil 5. Now, some people might be confused with this one, asking me, why the hell am I putting this one, um, like, over Revelations and Zero? And I know, I am aware how some people were very upset with this new trilogy of Resident Evil. Now, did this game have some problems? Yeah, I mean, there were some issues. Like, I wasn't happy with the clunky inventory. And I thought having, Sheva kind of slowed you down at times. I thought that was fucking annoying. Um, but like I said, I think this Resident Evil right here, I think this one does a great job at balancing horror and action. Because it still maintains some really good horror moments. And like I said, if you take horror and blend it with action, I think it's fucking awesome. I've always been a big fan of that, to be quite honest. I mean, yeah, I mean they did it poorly with Resident Evil 6, but I think with this one they did it damn near perfect to where you can actually still enjoy the game and have fun with it. Um, and as we all know, to this very day, this is Capcom's best-selling Resident Evil of all time. So just putting that out there. I mean, who could forget the awesome boss fight with Wesker? And it was really cool though how like they had that mode, like it was like a little side story where you're playing as Chris and Jill is your partner, and I believe they go back to the mansion, right? The Raccoon City mansion. I thought that was fucking awesome. It was a nice little throwback to to the more like hardcore fans, who have been with us from the beginning. A really good nostalgia feeling to it, and overall, yeah, it was a fun game, and I like it, and in terms of mercenaries, this game has my favorite mercenaries in there, to be quite honest. I mean, hell, Rebecca and Barry are playable in the mercenaries, so I guess that's a win. And overall, yeah, and you had some secret unlockable weapons, which I actually did get some of them. Once again, boss fights I thought were pretty good, and overall, this game was really good. So, I don't care, I really like this game, and I still like playing it to this very day. So, really fun game here. And we had those big ass guys with the big ass axes and the fucking bags over their head with like needles attached to their face or whatever. So, yeah. Oh, and we had the lickers come back. So, I mean, overall, really fun experience. I cannot complain with this one. Number 6, Resident Evil 1 Remake. Holy hell. Like, this fucking game right here is like mind-boggling. Like, I can't even express how fucking crazy this game was. Um, this might have been the only entry that gave me the most trouble. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, the amount of trouble that this game put me through was like out of this fucking world. And like, and you're obviously gonna ask me like what happened, dude. Because like I wasn't like I completely forgot. Like seriously, I completely forgot that this game kind of focused on like, using your crates, to store items, and then all this crazy ass shit. And like I kid you not, I was told like in my head I'm like, wow, like I gotta use ink ribbons again to save this fucking game. But there was actually a brief moment. I got a little fun story for you guys. There was actually a brief moment where I didn't have any ribbons, and so I played the game for damn near an hour, and like I said, I had nothing on me. And by the time I got to a typewriter, like again, a whole hour I was playing, and I had not even any herbs or fucking I had hardly any ammo, so I knew I was probably gonna get fucked. And so by the time I got to a fucking typewriter, I was already out of breath. Like, oh my god, like, so like, thank God that I didn't have to start over from wherever, So, kudos but kudos to Capcom though. This was definitely a worthy remake. We got introduced to the Crimson Heads and Lisa Trevor, and it maintained some really good nostalgia moments, like the sharks and the snake and everything. So Oh yeah, and the scary ass spiders. So overall, yeah, guys, a really a worthy remake, and it was a really good game, and yeah, and to this day, it's still being played, and for very good reason. So I cannot complain here. A very good game, and and this is how you do a remake. I mean, people should take notes from Capcom and hell, even Activision, because they're the ones that also remake Crash Bandicoot. So take notes from those two companies. Um, so I mean, overall, yeah, a really really well worthy remake. Number 5, Resident Evil 7. Holy fucking shit. Okay. Now, let me just say, it kind of got hard for me to get used to the fact that this game would indeed be going to first person because, I was always used to the third person shooter or the fixed camera angles. So when I heard that this game was gonna be first person, I had mixed feelings. Um, but overall, I figure, what, everyone's saying it's scary. Why not play it and see how it is? So I bought the game and I played it, and holy shit! Like, I've seen scary shit in Resident Evil games. The Cerberuses, the Lickers, the first ever zombie reveal, um, various moments. But this has to be the scariest entry in the franchise so far. Like, I am aware that a lot of video games and movies, a lot of people are getting tired of the whole, cheap jump scares. I mean, I feel like The Curse of La Llorona was a perfect example because I watched that movie and the jump scares were all over the place, and it's like they tried way too hard to scare you, but they failed miserably. And although this game does have a shit ton of jump scares, they work. They work to perfection. I mean, I think the scariest one was when you're approaching the door that has the crow on it, and then from the right side, Margaret fucking comes out of nowhere, and she scared the shit out of me. And also when she breaks through the window, and then when just so much scary. Oh yeah, and then when Jack breaks through the wall with his axe, it's a scary ass game, guys. I mean, if you want to play a scary entry in this franchise or just a scary ass game in general, this is the game to play. I mean, it like every time I got jump scared, I had to pause the game and recollect. I mean, that's how fucking scary it was. I mean, hey, trust me, if you haven't played this game, do not play it on VR. If you have a weak ass sphincter, do not play this fucking game. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Um, oh yeah, and then we had Chris in there. And we had a brand new character in Ethan Winters. Um, and yeah, the graphics were brilliant. Really good graphics. And overall, yeah, this was a really good game. Um, so yeah, scary ass game and really good ass game. So yeah, it's like I'm just grateful that they took a brand new approach with this franchise. Because after the downfall that was Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6, Capcom definitely learned their lesson, and they took a huge new direction. So, and it paid off in a big way. So thank God. So yeah, so there's that one. Number 4, Resident Evil Nemesis. Um, this game I thought was great. I mean, come on. It has possibly the best antagonist in Resident Evil history in Nemesis. Um, he pops up everywhere. You don't really expect it, and he's a scary ass guy. He's big as hell. He's got like the grenade launcher and shit. So yeah, Nemesis is not someone to be fucked with. But I thought it was cool too how they actually had the police department right there. You could actually go in there for just a brief moment. Um, and I mean, Jill, hey, if I could be honest for a split second, Jill is sexy as fuck in this game. No, but seriously though, the game did really good. With it maintained the camera angle style, gameplay style. And I love how in the PS4 version, like I mean not PS4, in the PS3 version, like if you download it, it gives you all of her shit, like, from the shotgun to the machine gun to the handguns. You got infinite ribbons. So I mean, I thought that was great. It makes it easier for me. Shit. Um, and overall, yeah, and I thought that was cool too. How it like gives you options of what to do, and that whole water puzzle was annoying as shit. Like I actually heard about that puzzle, and yeah, it was annoying as fuck. Um, and then like you fight Nemesis a lot in this game, obviously, you know, and overall, yeah, I mean this was a worthy third installment. Very happy with the gameplay, very happy with the story, and very happy with Nemesis. I mean, and I pray to a god that the remake, apparently it has been confirmed by Capcom that it will happen, but according to my brother, it'll come out like in 2022 or something like that. But you know what? Hey, I could wait. I mean, I am a patient man. Well, sometimes. But yeah, a really good game. Really good ass game here. And just fucking awesome. So I strongly recommend this one. A very fun experience. Number three, wait. You know what? Let me say that one more time. Number three, Resident Evil 2. I tried my best, guys. I tried my best. Um, but this game right here was fucking awesome. Um, Many people say that this is their favorite of the original trilogy, and I can see why. Leon as a rookie cop, and Claire, I guess she's like a university student or some shit. Um, and this game was great. It was definitely a really great improvement from the first game. Um, the puzzles and and everything about it, like the gameplay, it was great. I mean, it was fucking awesome. I mean, and yeah, I played this way back in the day, and then I played it recently because I mean, like this is one of the only games where the theme music is or the soundtrack is so memorable. From when you first enter the police station, I mean, hell, even the laboratory music I think is badass. The little like, or yeah, you get the point. And of course, Burkins is like the main boss, and you had like the tyrant in like the B scenarios, and I thought that was a really cool idea, like how every scenario had something different. And overall, this was a very fun ass game, guys. I mean, I strongly recommend it. I mean, I'm pretty sure many people have already played this game, but if you haven't, then yeah, try to get your hands on it because it is that damn good. Um, and like I said, this game, our introduction into the liquor, you had Sherry and Ada in there. Oh yeah, and then you had like Marvin and shit. So, and it was just a fun ass game, guys. Like it was a very fun ass installment. I loved it. I mean, it's still fun all these years later. And in terms of the narrator, like as we all know, the narrator says the name of the game every single time in the main menu. This might be my favorite, actually. I don't know why. It just sounds really cool. Um, it really does, and this game is it's just that damn cool. So I love this game. Definitely one classic of the PS1 era, and I still love playing it to this very day. It was that damn badass. Um, and and I'm not even aware of this, but I mean well, I kind of was, but I did hear about how many people were collaborating for a remake. People were demanding a remake for this game, and I kept wondering to myself, like, huh, well, who knows? Like, what a remake would look like. And speaking of remake, number two, Resident Evil 2 remake. Guys, when I first saw the trailer for this, I was blown away. Like, no fucking way. Seeing the shot of Leon, I was blown away. Like, holy shit, they're actually making a remake for this. And when the first demo I saw, I was actually watching it from Maximilian, dude. Yeah, I watch him every once in a while. Um, I watched his demo gameplay of it, and guys, the fucking graphics are just so good. Like, and it just looks so real. Like when you shoot a zombie, like you could see the bullet holes in them. You could see like the blood splattering. You could shoot their limbs off. You could actually blast them in half. It just looks so damn good. Um, Especially that one cool scene where he goes up to that one dead officer and he like lifts his head up. You can see like his jaw just like slashed. Um, and I love it because it's a really it pays homage to the original. Like you have like for example, you have the medallions, the keys, like the spade key, the diamond key, whatever. You have like just a lot of good throwback moments to the original, and it's fucking awesome. Um, and I know some people were a little upset with the changes, but I mean I could kind of agree with where they're coming from, like the little changes, but and even if I had problems with them, I'm not gonna let those little problems downgrade the game. Because I mean I love this game, so I mean I'm not gonna let them like boggle down my overall thoughts on it. And then you had Claire in there. And I thought it was kind of cool how Marvin had like a little bit more purpose in this one. I mean, sure, he wasn't really there long enough, but at least he did some shit. Um, and then you had like the just a lot of good shit in here. The Birkins boss fights, and you even had like the original soundtrack, which I thought was fucking awesome. Um, I honestly I was disappointed though how they didn't bring back the classic costumes from the original. I thought those would have been really cool to have, but you know what? I'm not gonna bitch about it. Um, and overall, guys, yeah, I mean, this was a worthy ass remake. I mean, and I really hope we see more entries like this in the franchise. Because I'm really hoping Capcom implements some of these aspects into the RE3 Nemesis remake. I really do hope that they use this type of gameplay style, because it is just that damn good. Um, and you had like like the alligator again and shit like that. I kind of wish they would have brought back some more creatures like the spiders and the crows and like that big ass moth, and maybe even some newer ones. But you know what? Again, it's fine. But it's very like I just love how they actually let you expand your inventory. Like they actually give you extra pouches to make that shit bigger. So kudos to that, or kudos to them for doing that. Thank God. Because it's a hassle. It's a mega fucking hassle to like go back and forth, to the crates to like store shit and pick up shit. So kudos to them for doing that. And overall, guys, yeah, this game was great. I loved it, and I really love how they went back to the third person shooter. Infinite guns I thought are badass, and yeah, just a badass game. So yeah, guys, but as good as this game was, I'm sorry to the people who love this game and consider it the best, and I'm sorry to the people who love this game because of the good feeling of nostalgia. But number one, Resident Evil 4. Yep, guys, I'm sorry, but as good as part 2 is, this right here is still my favorite in the franchise. I mean, come on, you knew it was gonna be this one. Come on. Alright. Now, like part 7, Capcom took a brand new approach with Resident Evil 4. I mean, think about it. Raccoon City is no more. Zombies are not a threat anymore. And oh yeah, and there's no more fixed camera angles, no nothing. They basically began from scratch. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when you start from scratch, it could either make or break a game. And we have seen that a couple of times. But this game did it in a way that was just, again, in perfection. the third person shooter, and like, yeah, this game reinvented the whole third person shooter gameplay style, and I just love it. Like, I love how it takes place in three separate locations. You know, the village, the castle, and the island. And this is the game that made Leon become my favorite Resident Evil character. You know, he went from being a rookie cop to this secret agent. Um, and it was just awesome, you know? He is just that damn badass. Um, I mean, and like I said, the game maintained its good creativity with their creatures. Like, again, the del lago, you know, the fish, the big trolls, the various members of the Las Plagas. I believe that's what they're called. Like, you know, the Leatherface inspired chainsaw guys, and various other shit like that. And like I said, the gameplay is just fun as hell. And the story is pretty easy to follow if you ask me. And overall, it's just a really good ass game, man. It's a fun ass game. Um, and oh, and also too, you had Wesker as playable. Oh yeah, you had him and Hunk as playable characters in the Mercenaries mode, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, and I did a whole review about this game actually sometime last year, and because it was just that damn good. And you had like the regenerators and a lot of shit. And I actually unlocked all the secret guns from the infinite grenade launcher to the hand cannon, the typewriter, and that one gun that shoots out lasers. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I actually have all four of those guns. So there's that. But overall, guys, yeah, and I mean, you could actually blow their heads off, and with the PS4 version, they really upgraded the graphics. So yeah, guys, I mean, despite how good Part Two, the remake is, this one is still my favorite in the franchise. Just fucking awesome ass game, and I recommend it if you haven't played this game. It is fucking awesome. And yeah, guys, I mean, what more can I say about it? I mean, ever since it got released, a lot of people have. I mean, like I said, I can admit that its action-oriented style led, you know, to bullshit like Resident Evil 6, but that should no way discredit how good this game is. Um, so yeah, guys. So I love this game. You know, good as boss fights, good as cutscenes, and overall just fucking awesome. So pretty much it, guys. So that is my list ranking the top Resident Evil games from worst to best. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Um, and if you guys disagree with me, please keep it civil. Do not call. Don't be a dick about it. Be a nice guy and shit like that. All right. So pretty much it. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right. So be sure to click the notification button, like, comment, subscribe, and until then, REKLEZ Rich, signing out.